What's going on, guys? So we got the caddy here. I loaded the video, but we tinted it out. Got it going, but we're having some issues now. Once in a while, well, it's been doing it every day now. When you sit at a light and you go to pick up, you hit the gas, and it kind of just sits there and hesitates, and then it kind of goes into limp mode, and it won't go past 20 miles, 25. I mean, it does, but you kind of have to gradually get up there. So it's got a digital dash. It was saying high temp, shut car off. So the previous owner said he had ordered a water pump because this one was going out. So when we pulled over to check it, there was no coolant in. Well, there was a little bit, maybe like a quarter in the radiator. Filled it up, but it's still doing the same thing. So we got the water pump, thermostat, and we're gonna tear apart the carburetor. But other than that, this bad boy's got 4 belts. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, and where's the 4th? 4. And the AC isn't working, so we're gonna replace the compressor today too. I mean, it looks pretty easy. I mean, there's little adjusters on the side to tension it right, and then you just loosen those. You can just drop every part. But has anybody had any issues with these type of Cadillacs? This is an 81 Eldorado, Barrettes or whatever it's called. And yeah, so it's sluggish, hesitates. When you're hitting the throttle, it goes into like a limp mode. If I turn it off and then turn it back on, it runs fine. But that's what's going on right now with the Cadillac. So you guys can see the tints, they look good. Tint at the front windshield, all the way around. Still haven't put the plastic pieces around the bumper. I gotta order the paint so we can paint them. But alright, guys, I'll keep you guys updated if I do figure out what it is. A couple people said that the common issue on these cars were the injectors. They went bad. So I don't know, you can tell. I have to test them. Who knows how to test these? Let me know. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. Now, for you guys to say, oh, you didn't explain what the fuck about the belts. So, I'm gonna start with the one furthest out. So, to get more clearance, I'm gonna remove this plastic shield. It's held down by 2 10mm, one on each side. And then what I'm doing is I'm removing those 13mm. There's 4 going around this belt here. See? And what I'm doing is I'm taking my 10mm, and I'm sorry, my 13mm. I'm coming in like this. I'm putting it on the nut there, and then so that it doesn't spin, I'm just sticking a little extension in my alternator fin here. Hopefully it doesn't bend. but I'm willing to sacrifice it. And then I just go in here, grab my wrench, and just go down on it. And then once you break it loose, like I did, you do that to all four. I go back in here. Take them out with my hand. And then there's no screws on this plastic cover at the bottom. So once I pop those four out, I'm just gonna push the fan in a little bit so that it clears the little bolts right there. And I'm gonna slide it up together. And then I marked the position where the nut sits. I made a mark with a blade. So I'm gonna do the alternator one first. Then I'm gonna do the rear water pump. This one. I don't know what the fuck this is right here. What the fuck part is that? But, and then after that, I'm gonna do this little one right here. This one. Power steering. Then I'm gonna do the AC last. And that's it. Alright, guys. I would let you watch. I ain't got no damn nothing to hold this camera. Hold on, let me see. Hey guys, you ain't gonna see shit, but you guys wanna see something, right? So I loosened two and finish up. You see the other ones. Whoopsie. And I'm pushing it through so it could make contact with a couple of fins. You don't want it damaging it or bending it. There we go. Remove the bolt for the cover. Found it. Don't lose your screws. I know, I'm gonna go in here, loosen these nuts, and there's no washers, so one, spin the fan around, spin, 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 and I guess I gotta show you, right? Alright, did you guys get that? Look at that. And these are loose, so be careful. Well, you can adjust them how far in and out you want them. Alright. Shroud and the fan are out. Now we're going to continue. We're going to remove our alternator. We can get this belt out of the way. Oh yeah, the water pump is, oh no, it ain't shot. It's just from me moving it. Alright guys. Pause you. Guys, let me wipe you off. So it got really complicated. Just to get to the damn water pump on this shit, you literally have to remove every fucking thing. Because all these stupid brackets are right in front of the pump. So you have to remove the alternator, the AC, this pump here. I don't know what the hell this pump's for. Power steering. I don't know what this one's for either. But it's just a shitload of adjustment. Little brackets and stuff that I gotta mark. I gotta remember how the bolts go. But it's ugly. I don't have enough memory. So I obviously can't show you guys what I'm about to do, but I'm gonna remove every single pulley and part off and all the brackets so I get to that. This goes to the AC. With this bracket with these 3 nuts, it goes right here, right below the AC compressor. Now we're going to remove this bracket on this side. Alright guys, this is our progress. It's a fucking bitch. There we go. Cut it in pieces. It's literally in the middle. All the brackets are around it. So I removed my alternator first. Then I removed my fan, my plastic cover, the belts, small belts, the one around the alternator. Then the one in front. Right here goes to this one. And the crank, I believe. Alright, and then we removed this AC bracket with these 3 nuts from right here. And then we removed this other bracket with the 3 bolts on this side. I don't know what the fuck this is for. I don't know what it's called, but it sounds like it's going bad. I wish I knew so I could just buy it and replace it. And then we do have some oil leaking out of this gasket here. Needs to be repaired. It could be oil or it could be coolant. I'm not sure. I think it's oil. Alright, so then once you remove this one with the 3 bolts holding on to this, you come over here and you remove your power steering pump. You do not have to separate these 2. All I did was I unloosened the back bracket. It's got 3 nuts, one right here, and one at the bottom. Then I just removed the bracket on the front bracket that's holding on right in front of the water pump here. And then in the back here, right here, this nut here, it's got, where did it go? Oh, it's still right here. Duh. Right, so this bar right here, that one just goes in that nut right there with a 12mm. And then once you remove that, I just push it to the side. And now we have access to the water pump. So now we're gonna remove that lower hose, and while we're in here we're going to replace the thermostat and the coolant temperature sensor. So it's a fucking can of worms, y'all. I kind of want to replace this gasket here since I'm already right here. I could also replace the valve cover gaskets. I mean, they're not too bad, but you can tell somebody tried repairing them or something. This one's leaking from right here. Oh, it's leaking from right there. But maybe another day. This shouldn't be too bad to remove later on. And then we're gonna replace our injectors, but for now we're gonna tear it apart and clean them out. And then what I found about it being sluggish and not wanting to pick up, this spring right here is for the throttle. So what we found out is that this bracket that's holding onto this harness, it was sticking out straight out, and it was catching in between this spring here. So when you try to throttle, it wouldn't let the throttle go back. It would hold it. So we just move the bracket down. We're gonna tighten it up, and I think that was our issue for it not picking up. The water pump and thermostat, that shit needed to get changed, so we're gonna do that. Alright guys, this is where we're at so far. Finally just connected the lines. We took out our coolant temperature sensor. We're gonna replace this too. We're gonna replace the thermostat. Somebody had tried to replace it, but they used some cheap ass fucking gasket maker, and it all just like fell apart on them. They used gasket maker over the gasket, and it didn't hold. It just peeled right off, and the gasket ended up lifting up from back here, so I think it was kind of running out. But look at this. I want to replace this gasket so bad since I'm in here. But I'll have the time. And then here's how I store everything, because I'm not going to finish today and I might forget. So I just keep my parts separated with their screws and everything. All the brackets are wrapped up. It's got its bolts and everything wrapped up in there. And then as far as the water pump, which I'm about to remove now, what I do is I draw myself a diagram of the water pump. I mark where each one of the little bolts go, and then as I take them out, I just press it through exact spot that they're at, and then when I put it back, I can put it back in the same spot. Because if I do it a week later, I'm gonna forget. And these are different sizes, so you don't wanna fuck that up. Alright guys. So we managed to get it off. Right here in the water pump, this last little bolt sits behind the crank pulley here. And all I did was I unbolted this little plastic piece right here. I just took this one off, and then I just kind of moved it down. And then I didn't want to remove the crank pulley, so what I ended up doing was, let me see if I could find it, wherever it went. Did I drop it? Oh yeah, I did drop it. Okay, so check it out. So I ended up grinding it. Down, and I literally just stuck it in from behind here like this, and just kept turning, turn by turn, and then when it finally came out, I just used a flathead screwdriver to push out on the screw so it could pop out, and then I just lifted it right out. That's where we're at right now. And you can see the water pump was going bad. Look at it, was starting to scrape. Suggestions. Do I sand this down? get away by leaving that. There's the old water pump. I guess it was the rust part. Maybe the car was sitting for a while and it rusted up or something, I don't know. And then when they started it, it started rubbing. Doesn't it look like the same part right here? I don't know. But here's our new water pump. Our gasket. We're gonna finish it tomorrow. I already cleaned it up. There you go. And guys, we almost there. This would have been a really good video to show you guys. I really wish I had a better